Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session, Kubeflow Ecosystem, Navigating the Cloud-Native AI, ML, and LLMOps Frontier. I'm Valentina Sosa. I'm a principal architect at Red Hat. I'm also a project maintainer at Kubeflow. And here with me today, I have my amazing co-speakers and contributors. Yuki?
Thank you. I'm Yuki, a software engineer working for CyberAgent, and I'm a lead of Kubernetes batch tracking group.
Hi, everyone. I'm Johnu from Nutanix, leading AI within the company. I'm a part of Kubeflow steering committee and leading many of the ML initiatives.
Hey, Josh Bottum from Indemnify AI. Founded that company this year.
Next slide. So now we'll do an overview of what Kubeflow is. And I want to ask you, how many of you are data scientists? How many of you are platform engineers? OK, great. So this session is for everyone, because Kubeflow is for everyone. Kubeflow, what it is a foundation of tools for AI platform on Kubernetes. So Kubeflow tools makes GenAI and LLMOps simple, portable, and scalable. What this means is, if you're a platform engineer persona, you care about Kubeflow. Why? Because you want to provide the tools for data scientists, so they can take the advantage in Kubernetes of what Kubernetes capabilities bring, from scalability, high availability, security, but also integrating with the whole cloud-native ecosystem. If you are a data scientist, you want to use your data scientist tools to create, build, and test, and experiment, and fine-tune your models, but also taking advantage of Kubernetes. So not only working on your machine, but also working on Kubernetes and do it at scale really easily, because at Kubeflow, we are always working on simplifying the end-user experience. As an AI engineer, you also want to, next slide, look into Kubeflow, because Kubeflow provides many tools that will help you bring GenAI applications that we'll talk in this session in a second. So I mentioned data scientists and I mentioned tools. So here you have many tools that you can start working with, from working with notebooks to build your models, but also trainer with a new trainer, also experimenting with Captive, bringing all that data into the model registry and do it automatically with pipelines. So you want to do everything with pipelines so you can automate the wonderful work the data scientists are doing, and you can run all of that over and over without duplicating efforts, as well as serving the model so the applications, a chatbot, an agent, can connect with that specific model. And with that, the GenAI lifecycle with Kubeflow is all of that I mentioned, but much more. What if I need to work with data preparation? You can do that with Spark. What if I want to use a feature store? You can use that with Fist. So you can use many of the tools that brings the whole ecosystem. But also, if you just want to use one component, one tool, you can do that, because it's composable. Or if you want to use everything, you can as well. So that's one of the wonderful things about Kubeflow. And with that, before you will hear from my colleagues here more in detail about each specific tool. But before that, I want to tell you how amazing is our community. It really is. We cannot make it without you. So thank you so much for being here today. But I want to bring some updates from the community. So first we started with the graduation process. We submitted. So the community has been working so hard on making this possible. So you can take a look at the GitHub issue. But also there is a new event that we are bringing. So we are bringing Kubeflow Summit, but also Cloud Native AI for KubeCon Europe. So please take a look, join us. And the other thing is the new working group ML experience that we have that is focused on the whole user experience with Kubeflow SDK to simplify the user experience and removing the complexity. So you don't need to worry too much about YAML files and Kubernetes and so on. And then in terms of releases, the team is working also in Notebooks 2.0. It has not yet released yet. However, they are working also on simplifying the experience by bringing giving custom resource definitions to the administrator so data scientists can focus on the notebook itself without worrying too much about complexity. And then the trainer V2 that we will be talking as well, that also focus on simplifying that experience and bringing more simplicity by creating also custom resource definitions so you can focus on the trainer itself. And with that, I will pass it, the last one. So the last one is, you will hear about many things today in each tool, and you will be amazed of all the amazing things the community has been doing. And you will be probably wondering how I can be part of this. We need you, so please join us. There are many working groups, Slacks, and meetings that you can join. So just, we are welcome anyone. Doesn't matter your background, your skills, or where you are in the AI lifecycle. So we will love having you. Now I will pass it to to talk about Josh about model registry.
Hey, so rather than go and talk about what's so important about having a model registry, I figured is what happens if you don't have one, right? So without a model registry, basically you're tracking your models manually, and you have to record your data set and your code and your versions. And whoever thought it would be so hard to come up with the name of a model, chatbot Tuesday, final. But whatever, you have to manually govern and access all your your permissions and manually promote your models. So if we go to the next slide, the new model registry, we've tried to do this over the years many times, but what was very interesting when Red Hat came to us and said, look, we have a professional team that's going to come in and do a GUI. And for those of you who have done a UI before, you know how hard this is. And they really did a good job of getting the back end done properly so you can do all the version tracking and the artifact management. But, the filtering, the sorting, all that archiving, and even being able to support custom metadata. So important stuff. And along with that is now integrations with other parts of Kubeflow, including when you go to deploy, using KServe and the KSI, the custom storage initializer. So you can download and deploy using the model's metadata from the registry. So just think about that. If you're going to deploy, you want to make sure everything's right. Being able to get it right from the registry, and then having a reconcile loop. So you can actually see what was deployed and bringing it back into the registry to see if what's deployed actually is what's in the registry. So next slide. The upcoming features, again, very much interested if folks are, probably need that governance, right? And who gets to see what, and integrating with Hugging Face, right? So hopefully that is important to people, and having a Python client for store and register of models, and so you can delegate the packaging and the storage and the registration of the metadata to a convenience function. And then the storage job where you're able to transfer and package the models also in the OCI format. Going on to the next slide, why Kubeflow pipeline? So, there's at least many more reasons that you would want something like Kubeflow pipelines, but let's be honest, running the steps manually is a pain. Being able to move the data between each stage, and each step, tracking the experiments and the parameters manually, handling the flow control, right? What do you do on retries? What do you do on error conditions? How to handle orchestration and scale up, right? And then deploying the models to production. All of these things, Kubeflow pipeline helps you do more quickly. Next slide. And this slide probably could have many more features. We just had a few on here that we'd go over, but you look at the recent integrations with being able to work with Jupyter notebooks, support for model cards, running pipelines in workspaces to make the PVC integration easier, as well as GitOps using Argo CD. The ability to do MLflow. How many folks here use MLflow? Anybody MLflow? Yeah. So, This has been around probably 5 times we've tried to get this job done. I think this time we're going to get it done. But, there are a lot of people that are asking for this integration to get done. I think properly it will be done this time, as well as the support for the Kubeflow Python SDK. And the Kubeflow local. So you have a lot of components inside of the pipeline. You want to change one of them, and you want to make an update and then test it and not have to rerun or recompile your whole pipeline. That's what's on the workflow. So any of the stuff on the roadmap, if you guys are interested in those, please join the Kubeflow Pipelines working group session, and you can learn more.
Yes, regarding Kserve, for people who are new to this, Kserve is a highly scalable Kubernetes native inference platform, hardware agnostic, which can run all inference use cases, predictive and the newer generative use cases. So on the bottom layer, you would see all the hardware, Kubernetes. You could have a Knative way of doing that, or your standard Kubernetes deployments, and then you can run all kinds of inference. I'll go more about it. So in this release, we have distributed serving with LLMD. For people who are new to LLMD, you could do much more smarter inference scheduling algorithms with that. Multi-node inference, pre-fill decode disaggregation, the prefix match routing, and different kinds of auto-scaling based on different metrics. There is closer integration with the Envoy AI gateway or any gateway API compliant ingress, which supports multiple LLM providers and standard token-based features, kind of rate limiting, fallback, load balancing, etc. So you have a smart scheduler which can do all these kinds of traffic routing based on your policies. And we are supporting we are gateway API compliant, so you can actually bring any ingress which is a Kubernetes gateway API compliant. So this is summarizing Kserve. This is how it looks like from a very high level. So on the top, you can have gateway API compliant any of your solutions. Here on Envoy gateway, where we have unified API sitting there, which tracks usage, smarter routing, rate limiting, and all other policies from there. Once it gets in, on the left side, which is the standard inference service, which we already have, which is a single node inference, having multiple VLLM container. And on the right side, the newer distributed inference using LLMD, where a standard multi-node inference or a disaggregated inference with the pre-fill and decode. And for optimization, you can have a KV cache, distributed KV cache using LM cache. All the things are there in the Kserve website where you can look it up. And all the standard other features where you can add DRA and your model cache, etc. for your inference use cases. Coming to Knative, for people who are new, this is the model optimizer part of Kubeflow. So here in this release, we have an out-of-box support for that newer train job. So from a user, data scientist using Kubeflow SDK, you can start an optimization job, which will trigger creation of multiple trials. And each trial can be a train job, a distributed training job, which creates job set internally. And it talks to different algorithm services where you get hyperparameters on the fly, gets evaluation results, and continues till the final objective is met. Now everything can be met using like hardly 10 lines of code right now on the left side. That's what you're seeing. Given a train job template, training config, the space that I have to search on here, learning rate and number of epochs, where you have multiple options there. Maximize accuracy for this is objective that I have to meet, right? And I will run that for 10 trials with max of 2 parallel trials at a time. So you can control your parallelism, control your final goal, and you get the best hyperparameters out of that, right?
Okay, thank you, Johnu. For me, in this presentation, I will talk about Spark operator upgrades. In the last year, the Spark operator was donated from Google Cloud to the Kubeflow community and currently maintained by Kubeflow community. Actually, Spark operator has a couple of updates while these couple of months, which is Spark B4 is supported, and new Spark Connect custom resource is released, and you can leverage the capability via Kubernetes native way. Additionally, the new Spark operator will support suspended semantics for Spark application, which decide when the Spark application should create pods. This is also a connecting point with Kubernetes project KQ. Thank you for outstanding work from Shingo Omura. And final point is supporting a Jupyter Notebook integration. By this feature, you can integrate your Spark system with Jupyter Enterprise Gateway. Okay, next is Kubeflow Trainer. Kubeflow Trainer is responsible for model training, including pre-training and post-training and fine-tuning, whatever. We will actually some of training runtime framework, as you can see this diagram, for PyTorch distributed training, Hugging Face, fine-tuning, MLX distributed training, or yeah, and more. However, JAX and XGBoost framework is currently under constructions, but JAX support will be soon. I can assume the JAX support will be coming in the next Kubeflow Trainer minor version. And actually, so this is what is new in B2.1 for Kubeflow Trainer. So breaking change is we replace the pod spec overrides field with pod template overrides field. So if you are using a previous Kubeflow Trainer version, please note this change. Additionally, we released the distributed data cache component as part of a Kubeflow Trainer, and yeah, as you can see, we supported a couple of ML framework runtime, and we added new scheduling functionality for bulk and native support, and Q topology area scheduling support, and node affinity support in train job. And we started to provide configuration API to modify Kubeflow Trainer controller parameters. And yeah, this is the final slide for Trainer. We are planning some release in the next half year and next year. So the primary point is in the next 2026 RE, we will release Trainer B2.2, which includes training job and training runtime custom resource API version graduation to B1 beta 1. Which means so the current B1 alpha API is removed immediately. And after B2.2, we will release more stabilized version, and we will remove previous Kubeflow Trainer B1 PyTorch job, TF job, XG job will be removed. Okay, and this one, and as I mentioned, we released the distributed data cache. This contributes to raw data from backend storage system via Apache Iceberg or something. And yeah, actually, so yeah, this is next. Okay. Yes. And this is a distributed data cache component system architecture. You can deploy, once you deploy train job, you can start data loading steps before actual training process. And once the data loading succeeded, train job can start. And this is actual how you can leverage data cache and train job. So YAML example and Python SDK example. If you are interested in this feature, please check this one. Yeah, this is actual technical detail. Yeah, please see this QR code. Yeah, if you are more interested in the technical details. And this is actually final part for Kubeflow SDK. Kubeflow SDK is comprehensive user interfaces for data scientists or ML researchers, whatever AI practitioners. So additionally, so the Kubeflow SDK do not require Kubernetes requirement. I mean, so you can install Kubeflow SDK and without Kubernetes. So, for example, so the Kubeflow trainer mechanism can be executed as a sub-process or Docker or Podman container, something else. And this is actual Kubeflow SDK usage. Yeah, please see this more details afterwards. Yes, this is another example. And this is a user survey. So if you have any questions or interesting in this project, please help us future events, community, or Kubeflow SDK survey. Yeah, thank you.
If you have questions, happy to answer. I think we are running out of time, right? Yeah. Andre's asking.
Hello. Could you, I know we cover over time, but could you quickly share, like, the main benefits to using Kubeflow tools over, we have a bunch of tools in cloud native ecosystem, right? I mean, what are like the main differences and importance and advantages over other things?
I'll just add my comments there. So Kubeflow, the primary advantage is it's Kubernetes native. So you actually get the Kubernetes scale automatically with you. All the components that you've seen here are fully Kubernetes native. You write YAML, you have all the flexibility with you. You can scale up and down. You have all the queuing system built in, what is required for your Kubernetes workloads. So you can think from a Kubernetes perspective, so you get the flexibility from operator perspective, while from the data scientist perspective, we are trying to make it simple by providing the right interface, which is the Pythonic way of doing stuff, which is the Kubeflow SDK.
Yeah, I might add that, look, doing machine learning is hard. And doing machine learning on top of Kubernetes is even harder, right? Some people say this is a really hard project to do. But the fact is, you have best practices and a community of people to share information with, to approach problems. And I think as much as the technology means is important to people and the process, I think that the community part of it, where you have people in other segments or other industries that are looking at the same problems that you have and trying to find scalable, secure solutions that are enterprise grade, very helpful, right? And you can't buy that from a vendor typically. You have to go out and find that from talking to a lot of people. That's what the community really does provide to you.
Thanks, guys. Yep.
Thanks, everyone. We'll be around.